definitely I rise to support and give my comments. But first I was to congratulate the committee and especially the chairman, the very knowledgeable chairman, Honorable Gekaria, for a very elaborate report. I've been going through the report and I can clearly see intense hours were put into the works to be able to generate this report. Mr. Speaker, as you ruled before, this matter is a very serious issue. And I thank you for giving members an opportunity to ventilate and to also contribute to this motion. Mr. Speaker, because National Climate Change Council is a council in a class of its own. Mr. Speaker, you know, previously we used to have universities where Chancellor was the President of Kenya. But in the current situation of the modern institutions, that is normal. The point I'm driving home is that it is very unlikely, it is very scarce that you see a president chairing anybody in Kenya, and especially a sectoral body. And therefore this is just to show the kind of importance that we give to our climate and issues to do with climate, our natural resources in terms of sustainability, and any other associated agenda, Mr. Speaker. That the National Climate Change Council is being chaired by none other than His Excellency the President, and the Vice is his deputy, Mr. Speaker, and that the Secretary is the Minister or the CS who is responsible for that docket. Mr. Speaker, this is to show that we appreciate the situation we are in as a country and as a globe, which, Mr. Speaker, has a great room for improvement. Mr. Speaker, when we talk about climate, it goes together with every other associated natural resource, and especially forestry. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, even the chair and this committee is the one responsible for those issues. Because, Mr. Speaker, even singularly looking at natural resources, sometimes we think only about mining and what is underneath. But, Mr. Speaker, looking at the quantifiable natural resources of countries like DRC, countries like the US, countries like Russia, Mr. Speaker, you are able to see that the value of natural resources that is over, not just underneath, Mr. Speaker, quantifiably is monumental. Forestry, Mr. Speaker, provides a great asset to any country, and especially if it is harvested in a sustainable manner. And Mr. Speaker, even in budgeting, if you look at the current BPS, we have taken cognizance of the importance that we should give to our environment, Mr. Speaker, by allocating enough resources. And also we are looking forward that even when after now we advertise, Mr. Speaker, for people to be able to harvest mature trees, that you are going to be able to generate a lot of appropriations in aid, Mr. Speaker, from our natural resources, not in terms of just going into our forest, Mr. Speaker, to cut trees, but in terms of harvesting mature trees and consequently also replacing. Mr. Speaker, the current situation we are in as a country and as a globe is associated with how we have treated our environment before. And Mr. Speaker, nature can be unforgiving, and in that regard, we need to do what we must at this age to safeguard our tomorrow. The current situation in terms of drought and famine, Mr. Speaker, is associated with how we treated our forest previously. And Mr. Speaker, therefore, going forward, we need to be a bit more meticulous, Mr. Speaker, on how we look after our environment. I've gone through the CVs of the nominees. We have the right men in the job, Mr. Speaker, and even for the nominee, who is actually my friend who never got a chance to go through, Honorable Umra, that there is a chance to try even better opportunities. Because the committees do their work objectively. Maybe she can fit in somewhere else with her qualifications, Mr. Speaker, but I also want to applaud those who went through because they are thoroughly qualified for the position to sit in the Council of our Climate. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I submit.
The Honorable Joseph Emathe.